As many of you guys know, Shyne had to do 10 years in prison. 10 years in prison for that shooting that happened in that nightclub that night with Diddy, J.Lo. And allegedly, I heard many different stories of what it was. Even one story that I heard that I don't know if it's true, but it was one of many rumors, was that Diddy spilled a drink on someone that night. And that person that he spilled the drink on, gangster in New York City. And I guess Shyne was there. You know, if you with your boss and shit and you part of a label, you gonna try to show out, you get me? I'm not saying Shyne shot. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Shyne was there up front, standing right next to Diddy. A fight broke out and somebody shot and people got. If I remember correctly, one of the people that were injured that night now is trying to say that they saw Diddy shoot her. I think she got shot in the nose or something like that.
That was in my mind who shot me.
You have said since really right after the shooting that it was P. Diddy who shot you.
I was standing by the front door. I watched the entire thing out. I had no reason to believe that it would escalate to a shooting. It was just male machismo and bravado at first. A lot of pushing and shoving, raised voices, hands. But then I saw them reach in their waist and draw from their hip. And I knew. I instantly turned to my friends and told them, be careful, watch out. And when I turned back, I know, and I've said over and over, I've heard the voice of God said, you are about to be hit. Calm down. And as I said, no, I looked straight forward ahead and I watched the muzzle flash from both of their guns and I felt the impact to my face instantly. J.Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the gun in and she lied to the grand jury.
You guys remember, this case was huge. Not for Shyne, the guy that did 10 years. He was facing like 25 years, I believe. But more for Diddy. It was the whole Diddy case.
From the media standpoint, your trial was the Puffy trial. Do you feel that worked against you all, the fact that 99% of the focus was on him?
Obviously, he was the uber star, and I was just up and coming. So, it's going to be a show. But he used that to just throw me off,
Diddy, J.Lo, it was insane. It was an insane time in media. Probably one of the craziest things I remember when I was a kid. I was super young, super young, so I wasn't really too deep into it. Time goes on, Shyne ends up forgiving Diddy, allegedly, because there was an interview that came out when he was tight in jail. Like, yo, bro, you called a witness that literally was worse than the prosecute against me to just, defend yourself.
You're back on me. Like, how do you call a witness to testify against your comrade?
That witness Shyne is referring to is Sharice Myers, a bouncer who was working inside Club New York when shots rang out that December night in 1999. In court, Myers claimed that she fell on top of Puffy during the shooting and said that he did not have a gun. But even as her testimony helped exonerate Puffy, it implicated Shyne. Myers told jurors that it was Shyne who first opened fire inside the club, letting off 2 shots.
Then he went on Drink Champs and was like, you know what? I get it. Time goes on. He was young. He wasn't really part of the street life, so I could see how the lawyers told him what to do. Might have not been the right thing in the streets, but they just wanted to make sure that Diddy was not guilty.
That incident.
You know what happened with Diddy, with Brother Love? Mm-hmm. I don't really blame that on him now,
right?
As much as I did then, because I did go through a stage of bitterness.
You're human.
But in retrospect, I blame it more on the lawyers that were advising him
to separate the case
than him, because his lawyers were there, to secure a not guilty verdict by any means. How many years ago? This is 20-some years ago.
20-something years.
So Puff is still young, relatively.
What is it? 1999.
1999,
okay.
2000.
Damn.
So he's much younger then, and it's a lot of pressure. He's about to lose everything. I'm about to lose everything. Right. I'm from that, though.
To then do a Hulu documentary. Within that Hulu documentary, Shyne, I guess, now is blaming Diddy once again for leaving him in jail and all that. Just a lot going on. Funk Flex. And if you know any New York gossip is happening, Funk Flex is definitely going to put his foot into. He's not dropping bombs in this one that I know. In this one, he's taking shots at Shyne, saying that Shyne is lying. And he's going to expose what really happened that night in the club. Does Funk Flex really know what happened that night in the club? I'm sure he heard through the streets or through the grapevines, as they like to say. But he's calling Shyne a liar. For those that haven't seen this video, let's watch this together real quick. Sub up to the channel, comment down below. Please share your thoughts. We're on that road to 10,000 subscribers. We will be doing a giveaway at 10,000 subs. If you haven't seen some of the unboxings we've done here, check them out. We got a crazy unboxing coming this week for our Basil. Crazy unboxing coming this week. Hopefully it gets here in time, but yeah, look out for that. Let's get into it.
Because this has been bothering me for weeks. So when somebody tries to say they the scapegoat or they were used, it's been bothering me, and I'm gonna keep it a book. Shyne, I love you, bro, and I know what you've been through. No, I don't, but you're a liar. You're a stone cold face liar, Shyne. First of all,
Also, shout out to all Urban Center.
you remember when D-Rock had to beat you up at that studio because you were feeling yourself?
D-Rock believed that's Biggie's man. If you guys have ever seen the documentary, the guy that took some time for Biggie Smalls.
You lucky you signed the bad boy. Because if you did not sign the bad boy and you signed the death jam or anywhere else, they're gonna pound you out like the day they beat you up at that studio. Shyne, you can't lie with me around, bro. And I'm gonna tell you something else, Shyne.
Funk Flex drags and exposes Shyne for claiming to be Diddy's scapegoat in 1999 shooting. You are a stone cold faced liar. You went to jail because you were scared of a group of men at the club that you jerked. Pause once again on the jerk. But you see, I keep hearing that it's a group of gangsters in the club that just, you know, wrong place, wrong time. The right place, the right time. When you've been looking for that person and you finally found them.
If you hated Puff so much, when he got the key to the city, you were in the trailer. Sucker. You're a sucker. I can't stand you. You got no guts. You went to jail because you took out your gun, because you were scared to get punched in the face by some dudes that you knew that were your people that you jerked. You jerked them because you were signed to them first, Shyne. Shyne, you were signed to those dudes first. I am going to expose you.
Yo, I've never heard that angle, but that makes a lot of sense. We're going to look further into that.
Shyne, because you're a liar. You could fool your country on who you are. You ain't fooling me. You had 10 record deals because you sound like the notorious B.I.G. and he died. Everybody wanted to spit in your face back then, Shyne, including me. Because you sounded like Biggie and he was capitalizing off of something. Don Pooh, I apologize. I know I said I wasn't going to say something tonight. I'm sorry. Shyne, your records were back too. I'm gonna wait till your whack ass documentary come out. And I'm gonna destroy you. You're a liar. There's a documentary? Oh yeah, it's on Hulu, saying that he was framed and he was whatever, and you know, he was the scapegoat and everything else. You're a liar. You couldn't even come through that tunnel, they would have slapped you. You had to come through it 1,000 goons.
Yo, what?
They wanted your head because you had no respect for Biggie. That ain't your natural voice. You're a goofball. You went to jail because you were scared.
Nah, Flex is going insane. But I'm over here trying to find out who was he signed to before? Like, who was he signed to before he actually dropped with Bad Boys? 'Cause I know his first album was with Bad Boys. He had that clap. Yeah! That was my... I haven't heard that in like 23 years, so excuse me if I got it all. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I don't know why that's the only bar I remember after 22 years of not hearing that song. So hold on, let's see if we can find something here in Wikipedia and then tie back those people and see if there's any tie, because I've never heard that angle. I've always heard literally it was Diddy spilled a drink, a whole argument popped off, Shyne happened to stand next to Diddy. Diddy pulled out a strap that was, I guess, belonged to J.Lo. This is all alleged, obviously. This is just rumors we've heard. None of us were there. But yeah, and then he shot, girl got shot in the face, and she said she saw Diddy with a gun. That's always what I heard. No, obviously, there's many different angles. Have a lead. Does Flex have a lead? Just because he's talking about D-Rock, he's talking about different people, he's talking about things behind the scenes. I'm not saying Flex himself could be there, but Flex sounds like a chatty patty. Like if he really might have heard something and now he speaks. But does it say? I've never heard. I thought he was discovered by Bad Boy, like just freestyling in New York, and he signed first to Bad Boy. Shyne and his mother lived in Brooklyn neighborhood, East Flatbush, where after being discovered freestyling in a barbershop, he became a rapper on a verge of distributing his first album under Combs. You see, on the evening of 1999, he went to the nightclub with his former mentor label, Sean Diddy Combs, Combs and another man, between Combs and another. See, an argument broke out in the club between Combs and another man. Gunshots followed with 3 bystanders injured. That's always a story that I heard. He was convicted to assault for unlawful possession of a weapon, sentenced 10 years. He was facing like 20 something, so 10 is, I guess, not the worst. But the thing is, it's like Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is gonna receive the Shyne treatment. He does the whole 10 years, like they keep saying. They're gonna deport him to Canada again, but Canada's a bigger hip hop scene than Belize. We'd see a similar thing happen today in time with Tory Lanez, break my heart. Great, this is what I was telling you that I also remember. One injured witness, Natania Rubin, testified in 2021 that she saw Diddy fire a gun. That's why I've never heard that he shot the weapon. I've even heard witnesses, like rumors, like the Tupac's Alive community. They also said Diddy shot Shorty. Shyne was ultimately committed for the charges as first-degree assault, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of an illegal weapon, while Diddy was found not guilty on 4 weapon-related charges and bribing his driver to claim ownership of his gun. That was another angle. The driver says The driver sued him for a couple $1 million, saying that Diddy walked in and told him to take the rap for the weapon. Shyne, who got attention of record producer DJ Clark Kent, while freestyling in Brooklyn, that's what they said in barbershops. Kent was introduced to the young rapper to Diddy. You see, that's what I'm saying. I've never heard an in-between gap between them. I've always heard. And then the first album dropped. Like, he literally was on for like a year and some months. In October, then 9 years. He moved to Brooklyn to live with his mother when he was 7 and continued to spend summers in Belize with his father. After deportation, Shyne was on to a career in politics. Yeah, so he got deported. Yeah, there's not really much that I've found regarding the men that were shot that night. I don't know if they were underage.
It was always said that Puff himself didn't get on the stand and snitch, but witnesses he put on the stand cleared him and pointed at you.
Absolutely. Not that they didn't just clear him, they lied. Because even today, I'm still not saying anything to get him in trouble.
Right, you said you didn't see the shooting. You didn't see the gun.
But the victim says Puff shot her. So my thing is, and I'm still saying here and now, and I've said in interviews, if he did shoot her, he was defending himself. It wasn't intentional because people were trying to kill us that night.
They always said that you and the brother Scar, God bless the dead, they said y'all were cool before you even met Diddy.
Exactly.
So why didn't you side with him that night?
Well, no, but it doesn't work like that.
Scar is the alright, so it's starting to see connections now. Alright, cool. Look, internet detectives at its finest. So Scar is the person we're looking for. And it's crazy. I just happened to click this video. I know it looks nuts, but I just happened to click this video. So Scar is the person that he knew before. Because remember, that's the whole thing. Flex is saying you were messing with them dudes before you was even messing with Diddy. You was signed to them. Think about it. Now you go on, you're dropping music, and we're seeing you with one of the biggest labels in the world. You're blowing up. Them dudes from them streets that threw a little bit of money, studio money in there for you, mixtape money for you to make CDs. They gonna want their bread times 30. Like they didn't put it in a perfect parlay. Because now you a bigger artist. What's going on? You got to break us off now. And the way that they're talking about Diddy, we don't know what he said that night, because people said they saw Diddy arguing with this dude in the club, and they even said right now, why didn't you side with homie over Diddy during that argument? We already seen that Diddy was in a back and forth with these guys. I heard it was over a spilled drink. He's saying that they try to kill him. Flex is saying it's over Shyne being signed to them before getting Shyne a bad boy.
Like that, doesn't work like that. Like literally, it was Scar, Nino, the whole crew of Brooklyn kids
from St. John's to Washington Avenue.
Yeah, but I know those guys, and everything was all good. Like we embraced, everything was good. Diddy's my boss. Diddy's, we remember 99, we spent the entire 99 making this record. It's about to happen. We're about to shoot the Bad Boys video. And we developed that bond, making the record. And I'm not going to leave his side and be like, oh man, you on your own. Do that.
Well, Puff was able to get Scar to help his case, but not yours. And now Scar's...
Somebody put him out.
Yeah, Scar's not here if he died in gun violence.
Yeah. I don't remember.
That's why we can't find so much more information on this dude's Scar, because I guess he died due to gun violence. We don't know what year he died in. I guess we're going to type his name in, Scar from Brooklyn, see if we can find anything.
If I remember, I think Scar hurt the case. Who helped Diddy and hurt me was Shyne Myers. And again, if you go back to my interviews, I said all this. I've been saying all this. It's just the power of Diddy, the power of his celebrity, his iconic status was just so loud. And so nobody cared to listen. It was like, yo, you the mad rapper, whatever. I got business going on with him. But again, Nas wasn't lying when he said, I don't like the way Diddy did Shyne with different lawyers. He was telling the truth. When you asked whether Scar helped, and I was telling about Shyne Myers. So Shyne Myers was a security guard, and I begged Puff not to call her as a witness. Because as I'm saying now, all these years later, despite Puff being in federal custody, I'm still not saying that he did anything wrong. I'm saying even if he did shoot, he was defending himself, because we were all defending ourselves. So why would it have been so difficult for him to call witnesses that were saying the same thing? Because that's the truth. I wasn't in there being belligerent and acting in a depraved want, because that's what I got convicted of, assault for depravedness. And that was due to him. That was the most damaging witness. Begged him.
What did the witness say? We got to look up her statement as well. What did she say? So I want to know, what did the witness say that damaged him so bad? Because he's saying that he wasn't in there belligerent, so I'm assuming she was in there saying Shyne was screaming at the top of his lungs. Because the way that they're making it sound is like they were big drug dealers. Again, we don't really hear these famous guys like the tales we hear from back then of Alpo. But not only them, there's Kenneth McGriff. Like there's many legends we've heard. Pee-wee from Harlem. Like there's so many legends we've heard. American Gangster, they made a whole movie about Frank Lucas. Like there's so many gangster legend drug dealers from New York City that we hear that is not the same today. Maybe in the future we'll hear about this era and be like, wow, we didn't even know that. But there's a lot of legends back then in New York, and the power they had at that time in the city, insane. It sounds like a movie sometimes.
This witness is gonna bury me. And he called the witness.
Why? Why wouldn't he listen to everybody? Like why?
Because he wanted to save himself. The strategy is somebody got to go to jail, and it ain't gonna be Diddy. So it got to be Shyne, and the plea agreement that the DA was giving me, because the DA wanted me to testify against, and he called me in for what they call as a proffer. So in the proffer, they wanted me to come in there and be like, yo, he had the gun. He passed me the gun. he started shooting, it was him. And I refused to do that. And so the DA was like, okay, I'll give you a plea deal for 13 years. So yeah, so that's what happened.
Have you ever spoken to the woman who was shot in the face, Natanya Ruger? Speaking up recently.
No, I haven't spoken to her. I apologized and did a, Kojak? What's the name of the...
Yo, now that I'm thinking about it more, is Funk Flex so mad because Shyne went to the Breakfast Club and did this interview? Because I didn't watch this. Now that I'm seeing all the tie back, like, all right, hold on, Flex. Why you tight though, for real? Flex, don't tell me the reason you mad is because this man went over here and gave this interview at Breakfast Club.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I had done it over the last couple of days when they asked, do I have any regrets? But we don't know, because the bullet fragments were never extracted from any of the victims. Mm-hmm. Definitely there were 3 guns fired, mine and 2 other guns. Mm-hmm. She
did say his gun, mine. He just told us right there was 3 guns shot, mine and 2 was it his gun, Diddy's gun, and then one of the gangsters shooting back at him that pulled out a strap on someone? Like, what happened? Because he did just say there was 3 guns shot that night and 1 of them were his. So him saying that right now is something crazy. And the fact that Shyne did what many rappers today never do. He refused to take the agreement. He refused to testify against his co-defendant. He refused to take a plea deal that would hurt his co-defendant when his co-defendant set everything up to be against him. And I didn't know Nas also pointed that out. Again, I was like super young at this era. But I used to go back to do a lot of my studies in hip hop, but I didn't know that Nas said he didn't like what Shyne did. I didn't know that Nas said he didn't like what Diddy did with the 2 different lawyers. And if you didn't understand why, because when you have 2 different lawyers, now each lawyer is looking to defend their client. And Diddy's paying for both of them. Which one I'm getting? I'm getting the better one with the better record, which they're probably friends and they're already speaking, all right, cool, we're gonna really do a case together. I'm still gonna try to help out my guy to get the best deal he can get, but one of our guys got to go to, and it's not gonna be Pete.
Lead to the doctor. Mm-hmm. She said I just got shot by Diddy, but then when she got on the stand, she was trying to blaming the both of us. Mm-hmm. And now she maintains that it was Diddy.
You think she got paid off?
I can't speculate.
That was another question that I had earlier. Remember, they said since 2001 she's been saying that Diddy shot her and she saw Diddy with the gun, but now he's saying when she was on the stand, she was kind of blaming the both of them, which that didn't help him out because now she's not even bringing up Shyne. She's just focused on Diddy. If she would have done that back then, that could have also helped the case go a little bit different. But let's look up who Scar is. That's what I want to know. The name that stood in my head is Scar. What is going on with Scar? Who was in December 2011, almost 12 years after the initial shooting back in New York City, Matthew Scar Allen was shot and killed outside of a Brooklyn Prince nightclub. So there we go. That's the guy that was in the shooting in almost 12 years. Let's look up if we can find any more information on Matthew Scar Allen. Brooklyn Bad Boys, the night I was shot. 2011, Michael Gonzalez was shot in his doorsteps in Brooklyn, unexpected, and the bullet traced back to the legendary hip-hop feud. A few hours later, I googled the name. Hold on, wait. How long? That he'd been killed on December 4th in front of a Brooklyn club called Footprint. 1 shot to the dome. His cap was peeled back and he was gone. I apologize on anyone related to homie. I didn't even want to read. Yo, that was a crazy bar. Like, hold on. He spit a quick 4 bars and a crime reads. Like, I wasn't expecting that. For a moment, I felt ill, upset that someone I knew had been murdered, as well as the fact that I too was almost killed. Another muse clicked away. I discovered a website called Rhythms with Snitch that included testimonies both pro and con about Allen's stick-up kid days. Robbing, raping, assaulting, and kidnapping. Okay, so Scar was a dangerous person in New York City. That's what we wanted to know. Because the way they were speaking about him was like, yo, Shyne. Well, the way that Flex was speaking about him was he was scared to death of these dudes. This sounds like a dude that I would have been scared of death to as well. I was shocked when I attached a news report claiming that Brooklyn rapper Foxy Brown was a good friend with the slain Allen. From her old Twitter account, Foxy Brown discovered him as one of Brooklyn's finest, which was one of the named duets Biggie Smalls and Jay-Z on the debut Reasonable Doubt. Some people went to the great lengths to say that the dispute, his extensive arrest records, Scar was a great guy. Others claim that Shyne or Puffy must have been responsible for Scar's death. It was all speculations, ghetto rumors. Can we find pictures? Yeah, this is the photo that I've seen before, right here. Scar. All right, I didn't even know he was Scar, but that's the photo that I've seen that people said that he got into it in the club with Diddy that night. And if there was 3 guns shot, what my assumption is Diddy's, Shyne's, and Scar's. That's what I'm thinking. Now, is that what happened? No, we don't have any proof, but that's just what I'm thinking. Shyne got Matthew Scar Allen because he was going to kill me, Jennifer Lopez, and Diddy.
There was no one in the club with guns. There was no one else firing. You would think that, I just pulled my gun out and started, blinking off, and that certainly wasn't the case. Somebody certainly drew a weapon, and I shot that person. You know what I'm saying? And the ricochets, in my opinion, came from somebody else. And there's no proof, there's no ballistic evidence that links me, to any of the victims, because none of the bullets came out. But I definitely shot the guy that was trying to shoot me. I shot him in the shoulder. You know what I mean? And that's because, you know, after threatening us, after telling us they was gonna kill us.
Okay, so Shyne has been recorded before telling us that he was the one that shot the gun and shot the dude, try to kill them. Self-defense is what he's pleading. But other bullets were shot, 3 guns. Basically, now I understand. He's saying that gun came from another person, which, you know, hence he's trying to say Diddy without saying Diddy's name. Him trying to shoot them too. Instead of hitting him, he probably might have not been that good with a weapon and shot someone else in the club, which could have been the female. Now they're saying she saw Diddy shoot her.
After saying he was gonna pop our head off, you know, Scar, who's dead now, you know, he, you know, is a known, you know, street guy. You know what I'm saying? I knew those guys. So I know when they start talking crazy, that's not just talk. You know what I mean? So when I see somebody go for their ratchet, you know, it was, you know, kill or be killed. You would think that there was no one in.
I'm telling you, these guys are known street legends in New York. That's what happens. These guys start becoming bigger than celebrities in New York City. So he's saying the way that I guess they were talking that night, he felt threatened for his life. Here in Florida, I feel like it would be a good case. I don't know if really the case of you feeling threatened would have been the best case, but him reaching for the weapon now. He said he reached for his weapon and that's when he shot him in the shoulder. None of the bullets were taken out of the victim. That's the big issue right there, which is, again, this is sick because this is similar to the Tory case, except Tory wasn't feeling for his life. Like nothing like within the club to fight other than I'm just talking about the part that the bullet was never brought to the case. The ballistics were never brought to the case, which was the same thing in that case. Homie got guilty, got 10 years. Well, he said 13. Tory got 10, and he got deported back to Belize, which, again, I'm telling you guys, if he does these full 10 when he doesn't win this appeal, he will be deported back to Canada, and I don't think he'll be allowed back in the country unless he gets into politics, too, which that would just be insane. This one is even worse than the Tory one because, again, these are street legends. These are not bankers. These are not a female, you get me? These were guys that were real threatening. I felt threatened for my life. They also had a weapon on them, and I received a gun, and I just happened to reach to mine quicker than he reached to his. Let me know down below, who do you believe? And he said he knew these guys back in Brooklyn. He was friends with them. He knew them. Could have Flex be saying the truth that he was signed to them on some street stuff, and that was the hence of the argument. He was yelling at Diddy for taking his artist, and Diddy's going crazy, and then it just got a little bit dangerous because these wasn't some sucker dudes, and everybody was talking about how Diddy felt so powerful and untouchable. Could it be one of those situations? Let me know down below. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. We're gonna do that giveaway at 10,000 subscribers.